Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and today I'm going to talk about M3GAN. M3GAN's a lot of fun, but I think the best thing about M3GAN is you come to this movie and you're like, I hope this movie gives me what I want in terms of the trailers. They're so much fun, and the dance and all that, and what you think it's going to be. And guess what? It is. It is actually the movie you saw advertised and wanted to see, and it delivers that. And there's something kind of refreshing about that, but I don't think that's the full story, as this is a great creative team, a fun movie that's almost, there's some slashers that are trying to do something satirical or make a statement on something and like give up because they didn't really have ideas behind it or something. And this is one of the few movies that like gives up on it more because they're like, but like you came here to have fun. Like, come on. Like, you want the thrill ride. You don't want our take on parenting in 2023. You want to see the robot girl stabby stab. And guess what? That's what we're here to give to you. And you can tell there's a difference because like they hint at stuff and they're like, oh, let's just drop it. Don't you want to watch her dance? And as I was watching, I was like, I do in fact want to do that. This is a fun, refreshing way to kick off cinema in 2023 and shows people who love genre. It's definitely a genre riff on what it's doing. Like almost everyone creatively who's done an interview is like, look, there's been like possessed doll movies before, Chucky's, like they're pretty much like not even pretending, which I like that. Like also now horror can do genre riffs and critics are like, what a ripoff. I'm like, motherfucker, that's the point. Shut the fuck up. Anyone who's like, it's a ripoff of Child's Play, like, duh. They know. We all know. Like, just... But M3GAN is having fun with that. It is having fun with a genre riff. It is having fun being an all-audience horror movie, the kind that James Wan, who came up with the story for this, as well with Akilah Cooper, who is the credited screenwriter on both this and Malignant. She came up with the story with James Wan and I think another person on Malignant. But I really, there seems to be more attention to her than there have been for the director of this, Gerard Johnston. I do think the script really helps, as well as the fact that you kind of get Malignant vibes from this, and she deserves that kind of attention. But if you didn't know, M3GAN is about a little girl whose parents are killed by a snowplow. Then her care is given to Allison Williams, who is a kind of like a big tech person for a toy company that looks like a combination of Funko Pops and OMG dolls mixed together with your worst nightmares. But she works for one of those companies, and she's supposed to be designing a cheaper version of their doll that sells really well, but instead she wants to work on M3GAN, basically, which stands for, it's an anagram for something, which Model 3 Generative Android, just in case you're wondering. And she's designing this, so we'll have connections with the kid. She's not having good connections with her niece, who she should be taking care of. And instead of doing that, she basically lets M3GAN take care of that, who like can connect to the internet, tell her science facts, make sure she brushes her teeth, wash her hands, things like that. And M3GAN becomes almost too protective of this girl, Katie, and then things start to go wrong. At the same time, the toy company wants to launch M3GAN into, have this be the big product launch, and Allison Williams has to basically like protect her niece and also hopefully not get that promotion at work because she just made a killer robot doll girl and stuff. This movie has a weird flow to it, and I almost there are parts in it where towards the end, this is not a spoiler, they're like, it's been 2 months since she's been with Allison Williams' character. And I was like, it has? Like, I didn't really think, obviously time had passed, but in some ways, like, there's one point a social worker comes and she's just gotten Katie. But when she shows up, it's like, you don't have any books for the kid. I'm like, didn't the kid show up like yesterday? Like, chill the fuck out. Like, but maybe like the timeline, and it doesn't explain itself. This movie often uses, like, I've heard it say it criticizes like millennial parenting in particular. As a millennial parent, I didn't feel that way. I felt they used like kind of just like stock things people say to their kids and shit. Some of it was funny, some of it involving screen time and stuff. I think more of it is critical of Allison Williams' character, who's like doesn't have a kid's book, so she's downloading an app and updating and stuff and can't relate to them and stuff. And it's probably more actually critical of the tech industry, of these people who want to have these connections and make life better, more for their own careers than actually the ethical good that they claim to be making. Like her parents are killed so early, and the other parents, like there's one evil kid and his mom's like, oh, he's so sensitive and stuff like that. Although I've heard that about kids who would, call me mean names back in the day, so I don't. But it does have this like stranger flow to it, which remind me of Malignant. I'd say if Malignant is the crazy cool like album that got a lot of critical acclaim, like this band is amazing, M3GAN is like, okay, well we have to make an album with some hits on it, so yeah. And it didn't lose the entire vibe. It might not be surprised. There's no moments in this where I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I totally expect like almost every moment in M3GAN, but it has so much fun in doing that. It's like a perfectly synthesized kind of genre thing. Although it is written by Akila Cooper and directed by Gerard Johnson. It is done by Jason Blum and James Wan were the producers. They are like basically melding together and becoming one company. I am a little curious, this is like what we're going to get from them, like these finally very well made genre things. Is that bad for the industry? Is that not? We'll see. But it was interesting when I realized like, oh, this is the first kind of major collaboration of when their companies kind of merge together basically. And like, is that a good thing or not? I don't know, but it is like two heavyweights in horror. Like in some ways when people are like, where did M3GAN come from? And then you look at the people involved and you're like, I mean, it's kind of tracks. I don't know. Makes sense to me. I don't know, and it falls in line with James Wan is very much like an audience movie theater kind of blockbuster, like everyone screams and jumps up in their seat kind of director. He's very, very good at it, James Wan, when he's doing a horror film. And like he loves to do that. And I think like that spirit is all throughout it now. I understand, maybe you feel I'm giving him too much credit in here, and I think Akila Cooper meshes well with that style, but you can tell that style is what's going on, and I think that's what like makes this film so much fun. Like the character of M3GAN is a horror icon. Immediately she's there, she's great. I think what works about the dance is like the Jabberwockies or something, where it's like seeing someone dance have no emotion on their face. Like dance is so like feels so physical and so emotional in so many ways that like when that's like robbed of you, it's fucking weird. I even like her little like black outfit when she's like going after the mean boy, going after the dog and everything like that. But I do think it kind of like, unlike something like a RoboCop or a film that's about robotics and like corporations taking over these things, it is mainly like it does tackle these things, and I actually think better than a lot of these movies do. Like I think it's on Critical Acclaim they brought up how like one character says like, we're gonna punch Hasbro in the dick, and because I think a couple of these guys were involved in the Gem and the Holograms remake, like that was maybe a vague reference. I don't know. I think it's also the word. But I noticed that reference has gone around a little bit. But it is playing with these ideas, but it's playing with them more about the horror story and less about being a satire, which I think honestly works about it. You never fully know what she's gonna do, and she does something weird that like makes it fun. Like she'll run basically like a dog. Why? Because she's a robot. She doesn't care about human stuff. She like when Katie asks her about death, suddenly she's like, existential and like doesn't believe in God because she's been on the internet too long. Like it's just like wonderful, crazy horror things like that. And like the voice is perfect. I think it's like a full package of kind of like a horror character where you're not sure what she's going to do. She actually does like have a soft side, like she cares so much, but she will go crazy and kill you and stuff. It understands like what we need her to do. But we'll see what happens after. It is interesting in a very cynical way. Like you see the people dressed up as M3GAN and doing the dances and things like that. It does almost feel like this is perfectly made. So like people like me will be like, there has to be a sequel. Like this is amazing. I love M3GAN. She's an icon. She's the moment. All those things. But like right now with this first one, I had a really good time. I think that's what this is honestly supposed to do. Give you a fun time with a killer robot doll girl. And if like that's what you need in a movie, so you want, like this is that very healthy, solid genre kind of pick. I think so much of horror now is about, whether you look at Smile or Barbarian or like all these things, it's far more about trauma. I think it is more about having fun with it and showing like the evils of the tech industry, which we can all laugh at and be fine with, like the YouTubes, and not worry about and be scared of algorithms. And I think that is all throughout. this movie. And maybe it's sad that that's become everyday life, and us satirizing it and thinking that we can just like throw that away for stabby stabs shows our blatant kind of disregard for the fact that we know we have no control over it, or we just want to have fun at a movie. I don't know, but M3GAN is a perfect little genre film. If you haven't seen Malignant and are a horror fan and would like to get into a crazier horror movie, watch Malignant first. But if you've already seen Malignant, or Malignant will give you nightmares or something, then M3GAN is perfect for you. I don't mind that it's PG-13. There's some 12-year-old kid who's going to see this and get into horror. We need more shit like that. If they want to release a unrated one on Peacock, that's fine. I really don't mind PG-13 because we need to have accessible markers for kids. That kid will probably see Barbarian anyway, so everybody chill out. But they're definitely somebody who will get in through that way. And I don't, how many, we miss some stabby stabs. It's fine. I should stop saying stabby stab. It's a thing I'm trying to make happen. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I just think M3GAN is this perfect approximation of what you want from James Wan, what you want from a horror movie, what you even want from a movie in general, and comes together in like that kind of perfect package. It's not like the greatest, I don't think it'll end up being on a top 10 list or something like that, but it's like perfect kind of cold beer kind of a movie. Like it gives you exactly what you want, gives you a little bit more, it's a little better than expected. It's sort of like the perfect formation of these kind of movies, audience friendly, fun. There are actually some ideas behind it. It feels like genre people who get what the genre can do, but understand what you actually want from the actual genre of horror itself. And that's kind of what's so awesome about M3GAN in general. So if you've seen M3GAN and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments and subscribe if you would like to.